Okay, starting with section 1, the pectoral region, I am going to be starting with the sternum. The sternum is a long, flat bone that is roughly 12 to 20 centimeters long, depending on the person. It's located in the anterior central portion of the chest and is separated into three parts: the manubrium, the body, and the xiphoid process. The body helps connect to the ribs via the costal cartilages, and the main function of the sternum is to protect the heart and lungs and major blood vessels as part of the rib cage. Next up, we have the pectoralis major. The pectoralis major is mostly responsible for shoulder movement, such as flexion of the humerus, abduction of the humerus, and rotation of the humerus. It also helps with keeping the arm attached to the body, which is a very good thing. It is fan-shaped, and it lies deep to the breast, but superior to the pectoralis minor and any other small muscle in that area. The origin is the anterior superior surface of ribs 2 to 4, 2 to 5, or 3 to 5, and the insertion is the coracoid process of the scapula. The nerve supply is the medial pectoral nerve C8 to T1. Next, or lastly, we've got the ribs, which I probably should have talked. It's fine. Ribs. They are connected. They are part of the rib cage, and they house the heart, lungs, and great vessels, and use the intercostal muscles to move the rib cage with respiration. So all of those ribs are attached to them, and they move them. There are 12 pairs of ribs with adjoining costal cartilages, and there are 7 fixed ribs, 3 false ribs, and 2 floating ribs. The floating 7 fixed ribs are the first 7, and then it's 3 false, 2 floating. The first rib is the shortest rib, and it does not possess the angle that most ribs have. It's just kind of has a slight bend, and it's also a very flat bone. It's kind of hidden behind the clavicle if you try to find it on a person. Or not behind, but behind and just above the clavicle. So there we go, that's the first. Okay, starting off with section 2, the circulatory system. We're going to start with the brachiocephalic trunk. The brachiocephalic trunk supplies blood to the arm, head, neck. It is the first bifurcation of the aortic arch and bifurcates itself into the right subclavian artery and the right common carotid artery. And this next fact is technically accurate to any artery, but I'm putting it in here because I wasn't sure what else to say. But it has 3 layers: the tunica interna, tunica intima or interna, tunica media, and tunica externa or adventitia. Next up, we have the circle of Willis, which I'm going to bring forward because it's a tiny picture. The circle of Willis supplies blood to the brain and the structures surrounding that. It comes in, this is where the picture comes in. It comes in from the internal carotid, internal carotid. Goes into the medial cerebral artery, posterior communicating artery, posterior cerebral artery, posterior communicating artery, same thing here, anterior artery, cerebral artery, and then the anterior communicating artery is this little bit in the middle. And that's the circle of Willis. That is the structure of the circle of Willis. It's named after Thomas Willis, who was an English physician. I don't remember what year, but in a year. He was kind of old. Next up, you've got my favorite thing, the heart. I like talking about the heart at least a little bit. The heart's function is to bring deoxygenated blood into it, take it to the lungs, and spit it back out into the body for internal respiration, which is blood giving oxygen to body and the body giving carbon dioxide back. To follow the blood through the heart, we would go through the superior vena cava or the inferior vena cava into the right atrium. Right atrium goes through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle and takes the pulmonary semilunar valve into the pulmonary artery and into the lungs, then back into the pulmonary veins and into the left atrium. The left atrium then goes into the bicuspid valve and then into the left ventricle. The left ventricle then takes it through the aortic semilunar valve into the aortic arch, ascending aorta, then the aortic arch, and then down, either down through the body, through the descending aorta, or through the brachiocephalic trunk, left subclavian artery, or left common carotid artery into the head, neck, arm, shoulder area. Gosh, I actually landed the last part a little too soon. The heart is located near the anterior chest wall, posterior to the sternum, but anterior to the vertebral column. So it's also a little left, just a little bit. So it's about here, roughly-ish. All right, so starting with the stomach for the digestive system, section 3, digestive system. It is a pouch-like J-shaped structure that is located in the upper left quadrant of the abdominal cavity. It consists of the cardiac sphincter fundus, which is the bump here, body, the antrum, pylorus, and pyloric sphincter here. It has a lesser curvature and greater curvature, and then the function of it is to take proteases and hydrochloric acid to kill bacteria that food might have brought down with it, as well as churn up that food using the muscles in the walls of the structure to basically turn bolus into chyme. Next up, we've got the large intestine, which is horseshoe-shaped. It's about 1.5 meters in length, 7.5 meters in width. It has 4 layers, same with the stomach and small intestine, but it has 4 layers: the mucosa, submucosa, muscularis, and serosa. It has 3 parts: the cecum, which is here, the ascending colon, 3 major parts. The colon is separated into 3 parts. So we've got the cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, rectum, and then the rectal canal. The very end there. Its function is to reabsorb water and electrolytes, compact its contents into fecal matter, absorb important vitamins that bacteria is making, that the bacteria in the stomach is producing, and store that fecal matter for later disposal. Next up, we've got the liver. Liver. It is the largest visceral organ and is the largest gland of the body. It resides in the right hypochondriac region and epigastric region of the abdominal cavity. It has two major ligaments. Wow, the trees are in the way. Alright. We've got this ligament, which is the falciform ligament, and then there's one down here, which is the round ligament, or ligamentum teres. The falciform ligament is used to separate the two lobes of the liver, and the round ligament is used to mark the path of the fetal umbilical vein going down that way. The main function of the liver is a whole bunch of things. It has over 200 functions, I think, roughly around 200 functions. But the most important ones are the production of bile, which is usually about 1 liter a day, and detoxification, which is removing toxins and then compiling them to be turned into waste later. Alright, we're going to start with the fourth and final section, the respiratory system. And we're going to start with the pharynx. The pharynx moves food from the mouth into the esophagus and air from the nasal and oral cavities to the larynx. It has 3 major parts: the nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx or hypopharynx, which the nasopharynx even to the nose, oropharynx even to the mouth, laryngopharynx even to the larynx. The pharynx is posterior to the mouth and nasal cavity, and superior to the esophagus and trachea. Acorn just tried to kill me. It is also posterior to the larynx itself, as the larynx is in front of it, closer to the front of the mouth. Next up, we've got the larynx. The larynx is in the anterior midline of the neck. It is slightly superior to the trachea and posterior to the esophagus. It has 3 types of cartilage in it. We've got, or not 3 types, but like 3 cartilage structures. We've got the thyroid cartilage, which is this bit here. The cricoid cartilage, which is on the interior bit and kind of creates these rings here. And then we've got the epiglottis, which is an elastic cartilage that acts as a lid to prevent food from going down the trachea. The main function of the larynx is speech and breathing, controlling airflow, producing sound, and protecting airways from food, hence the epiglottis. Next up, and last, and we're back, we've got the lungs. The lungs are located in the left and right pleural cavity. They have, with the most inferior little bits resting on the surface of the diaphragm. The lungs, the right lobe, I'm gonna bring forward because the tree is reflecting off it weird. The right lobe has 3 lobes: the superior, medial, and inferior, which is separated by a horizontal fissure and oblique fissure. And then the left lung just has 2 lobes, which is superior, inferior, and is separated by an oblique fissure. The lungs' main function is to intake oxygen and exchange it for carbon dioxide, which is called respiration, gas exchange, all of that. Intaking oxygen is inhaling, dejecting carbon dioxide is exhaling, which and then it takes all of that oxygen and puts it into various places, either the blood or just directly into the lungs, just whatever it needs to do to get blood everywhere, oxygen everywhere.